What's going on, guys? Alright, so today we are going to work on the fuel system on the car. Going to go over a part list of everything I got to do this whole conversion. So I am doing the 03, 04 style Cobra tank. It's got an internal baffle here on the tank. It's about tank holds about 2 more gallons than a stock Fox tank does. So this, from here, this is where the fuel pump will go. On normal Fox tank is right there on the top. So do a little walk around here. Here on the other side of the tank, you see it's got a hole on the top. We're gonna put a ventilation top plug right there. The Fox has one there as well, so it'll set the Fox style one. So I'm actually gonna modify a vapor vent for this tank to make everything work as far as fueling up the car and all. Because when you start putting fuel in the tank, you have air's gotta go somewhere. So I'm gonna make a little valve there. I'll show you how I'm gonna do that. So there, also you can see we're gonna put gas in. That's where the filler neck goes, and you can see it's a little bit smaller than a stock Fox one is. So we're gonna have to go with a different filler neck as well, which I'm gonna show you. So this is the filler neck I picked up. Got it from AutoZone for about 90 bucks, tax and everything. Got the new bar right there. But you will have to modify this. First I'm going to mention is this is for a 98 Mustang. Reason why I went with a 98 Mustang filler tube is because this is about 80-90 bucks cheaper versus the 99 304. And they're pretty much identical. I really don't see much difference in them between. There's more emission crap on them. But other than that, they're pretty much the same. You're still going to have to modify it. You have to cut in 3 pieces and pretty much weld it back together, or use a piece of hose and clamp it back together. But I think I'm going to use the welding method since I have a welder, and hopefully it holds up. And I'm going to use this pipe here as my ventilation. More likely going to cut that as well, shorten it up. But we won't know until we actually get the tank in the car and see where we need to make our adjustments. Alright, so this is all the hardware I got here. So I got the new wiring kit, 2 relays. I'm gonna be running 2 fuel pumps in the tank. Some more hardware here. Not exactly sure what that's for yet, but we'll figure that out. Seal for the hat, and all the and pieces we're gonna need here for our ends here, for all of our lines and all. And our fuel gauge, sending unit, and our hat here. This is a triple hat. You can put 3 pumps in it, but I'm just going to stick 2 because that'd be more than enough I'm going to need for my car. And the fuel filter, going to run an On3 fuel filter in it. See how that goes. Alright, just like before on the Fox, I ran a single Aeromotive 340. Going to the same exact pump, but I'm running 2 of them. So, should do the job. Alright, so this is the vapor valve I was telling you about. This is a stock style vapor valve. Goes on top of the tank, that little hole on top. On a Fox tank, this will be right next to your fuel pump. But so, we're going to modify this. Because you can see there's not much of an opening there. And we're going to drill out the center here. I'm actually going to cut all this out and put a new piece in. So this is kind of what I made last night, just for the hell of it. You can see the difference. Kind of not really too comfortable with the plastic piece I put in. I don't think it will take too well with fuel. Pretty much what I did is I got a L piece here. See there on the bottom. I drilled it out, got my Dremel, cut out right in here, about flush where the gasket will go, and just shove this down and put a whole bunch of JB weld on it. So today went to Home Depot and got me a 90 piece of brass here. I'm gonna do the same thing. It's actually just a little bit bigger than that little plastic piece I have on there. So this should be plenty of ventilation for the tank to help it breathe when we put fuel in it and all. So this is actually a brand new one. A lot of guys will actually use the blue version, kind of like this. Is a little bit bigger. It's got a bigger opening on it. It's for, I think, 99 and up Mustangs, but LMR's out of them. Everybody's out of them. And the places that I did find them were about over $100. So this guy right here cost me 20 bucks, brand new. It's actually a Ford part. Here's the bag it came out of. And like I said, I got it cheap, got it on Amazon. Even got it with the gasket or the new garment for me. So I'm gonna chop this one up and get this bad boy to fit in there, and we'll get it glued up. We'll let it sit for overnight, and we'll get it put in the tank. But we can do some other stuff right now before we need to put this in the tank. Like, I like to fit the fuel tank up in there, see what we need to cut on the filler valve or filler tube. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on this and show you what I come up with. Alright, so I got it trimmed down to where I like it. So you can see I drilled the middle part there, drilled it out to what I need. Got my little Dremel, I cut the old piece out, and got my new piece here, put in just like that. Still made it a little tight. I'm going to have to hammer it down, and come back behind it with some JB weld, and we'll be done with it. So yeah, what's going on, guys? Alright, so it's like a week later. Haven't really messed with the car. Working on a little bit tonight, using my truck here as a bench because I ran out of room in the garage. Working on the hat here. As you can see, haven't done too much. I want to go through some steps up here, how to put this together and all. Watch a couple of videos on it, watch some videos on it. On3 doesn't supply any instructions with this kit, surprisingly. So pretty much just figuring this out on the way, but it don't look too hard to do. So give you a little update here on the filler tube. So I managed to totally jack up the filler tube. Tried to cut, well, I had it cut to fit perfectly. Welding it up was like a nightmare. That part right there wasn't too bad, it sealed up nice, but welding this other part here, kind of like that, well, have this piece on it, looks like a freaking horror story here. You can see so much slack in it. It's either me or the welder sucks. I am starting to think it's me, but even on the lowest setting, the lowest wire feed setting, it kept burning holes through it. So I have a new one on the way. I've actually got a one for a 99 and up, so it's a little bit different, but this time I'm not gonna weld it. Got some of this stuff right here. 1 inch is like very hard to find. I had to order it online. You had to buy a foot at a time. This piece cost me about $8, about $7 to ship it, so looking about 16, 17 bucks for a piece of 1 inch hose. So I already kind of test it on this. It's very tight, so probably put some like a little WD-40 or something in it. Give it a little bit of lubrication and stick it in. So got the new filter too. Should be here tomorrow. Should be here today, but I guess something happened or whatnot. But anyways, should be here tomorrow. But gonna work on this part today. Get it ready, and hopefully we can get the fuel tank mounted this weekend. Alright, so as far as the hat, I am doing 2 Aeromotive 340s, so we'll have to plug up one of these, which should probably be that one right there. And I still came with 3 of these fittings. These are the O-ring top. So I'm just gonna put a little WD-40 here on the threads and tighten it down. Just test fitting this, and I haven't tightened down yet. I got another one put in here. And this hole right here is for the return. So you got your feed and your return. Got your holes there for your wires. We have our sending unit here for our fuel gauge gasket here. So I've already measured bottom to the tank to the top. It's right at 6 inches. So we're going to make sure when we stick our pumps into the hat, goes on something like this. We'll measure, make sure the pumps is not sitting too far out or too far in. We don't run out of fuel, or we don't want to starve it by pushing too far down or pushing it too far down on the tank. So like I said, measured at 6 inches. The hose that came with the pipe, or hoses what came with the fuel pump, are obviously going to cut them down to make this fit. So I'm going to get to the first one here and show you how it comes out. Alright, so I'm still working on the fuel pump. Had a little issue here. I managed to break this part off. Don't know how I did it, but I did it. As you can see, broke it clean off. But I don't think it's Aeromotive's fault. I think it's more mine. I think I put a little too much pressure on it. Well, I think it slipped out of my hand, and it didn't hit the ground. Well, I guess it hit the bottom part of the hat. I think that's what it did it. So anyways, went to Summit, got a new one because I like to get this system put together tonight, and hopefully we can do it. Just gonna trim this hose down just like the other one. It's not very long. Just want to make it as high as this one, and hopefully we'll be done. That need to cut these wires off, feed them through here. As you can see, got some holes here for all the wires. Once you get all the wires in there, I got some 2-part epoxy I'm gonna put on it just to seal it up. Don't want any fuel getting past that. But other than that, hopefully we can get this pump in, no issues, and we might even try to get it dropped into the tank tonight. Alright guys, so we got the fuel pumps in, wired up, got the fuel sending unit in and wired up. You can see there, maybe got the wires coming out the top here. both pumps and the wire to the fuel sending. Got the filters on. I noticed with the kit it didn't come with any screws to mount the fuel level sending unit, so luckily I have some screws laying in the toolbox and these fit perfectly. These are 5/32, so that helps you, but this is the screws that are hardware I got. Haven't really figured out what that goes to, what that goes to yet, but we'll figure that out. I'm about done with the, pretty much almost done with the hat part, except for I need to run the fitting for the return and put the 2 O-ring fittings on for the send and receiving side. But other than that, that's almost pretty much it, and about ready to drop in the tank. But not gonna do it yet until I get the filler neck. We'll get that mocked up and going in the car. Then we'll drop the new hat in, and from there we can start working on our lines. What's going on, guys? Alright, so we're back at it again. Doing the final touches here on the hat. Add a ground wire here for the sending unit, and make sure everything's nice and tight on it. Everything looking pretty good. Apply some epoxy on it. See a little bit here, but I'll put it on the other side, which I will show y'all. But everything is buttoned up, ready to roll. Alright, you can see there's the wires. You can see I use like a 2-part epoxy to seal it up so fuel don't escape. But we're pretty much ready to roll. Everything's nice and tight. So, gonna let this sit here. Got the new filler neck in this morning. As you see on the first of this video, I was modifying a 98 filler neck. As you can see, well, you can't see now, mine's all cut up, but it's a little bit different from this one. It's got this shorter, skinnier pipe on it. A little different here on the end. It opens and closes when you let fuel in. But that long piece right there we won't be using. Just gonna cut it off. And this little short one here we are gonna be using for venting the tank. So, just like the other one, we're gonna have to cut this one up and make it fit. But this time I'm not gonna weld it. Got some of this 1-inch E85 safe hose. It's really stiff, so hopefully we can work just fine. And so yeah, should be fun. Once we get this mod up, everything should start going together pretty good. I'm gonna cut this off. We're not gonna be needing that. Like I said, we're gonna cut this off, but we won't be needing that. But this tube here we will need. Alright, so a progress update here. I've been working with the filler neck here. Got it all cut up pretty much where I need it to be. Let's see, might be a little issue right there. Try against the body here. But there's still room. I can still get my finger through there. Well, barely, but be enough room for the filler neck hose. I'm gonna clamp on there, and it's pretty much gonna go on. kind of like this. So I'm gonna have the hose right there in between, clamped on. And should work out pretty good. But I may try a turn, see if that'll turn. I don't think it will. And let's see if I can make it work that way, but I may play with it just a little bit more and see what I can come up with. Alright, so now I'll get the hose onto the pipe here, measured out. All I need is about a 4-inch hose. So, ready to put these two pieces together. It's going to be a pain in the ass to do because the hose I got here is 1 inch and the pipe here is about a little over 1 inch, so it's a little tight. So I'm going to put some WD-40 in here, put some WD-40 on the ends. I've already tried this one on it, squeezed right on. Went pretty good ways, went all the way down to here. But it took a lot of effort to do it. Oh, there's my mark right there. So went that far down, so I think that's plenty to go down the pipe. Put a clamp on it, and it shouldn't go anywhere. So that's what I'm gonna try and do, and just press these on to the hose and hope for the best. Alright guys, so she is done. The modified feeler neck for the Fox. So I'd say this version here was a lot easier to modify than the 98 I got. Probably because I didn't have to weld it. So just using some hose, some fuel filled line hose here. I suggest maybe going a hair bigger. This is 1 inch. This pipe actually measures just a little bit, about 1.1 inches. So I guess what, an eighth bigger would be probably fine. And I was able to squeeze this on, but it took some effort to do it. But it's on. Clamps tightened down, and there is some trash in it. Like I said, I've been cutting it up, so there's some burrs in it still. So I got some gas. I'm gonna just flush through it, and it shouldn't leak. It's on there pretty good. And then we can start working on the rest of the fuel system. Put the hat in and start running our lines. Alright, well, I'm kind of bouncing back and forth here on the hat and tank and doing some wiring here, but I think I'm going here and hide my relays right here. It'd be a good place for them. Be hidden. I got the power wire already ran. Pretty simple considering I have the battery here in the back. I'm just gonna run this wire, just pause the wire here off this post. As you can see, this post here goes into the battery box to here. So this won't be live unless the switch is on. So that's where I'll put that wire. Got dual relays here, one for each pump. And I haven't really done much else to that until I get the pump in. Once I get the pump and the fuel tank up under the car, I'll probably start wiring this. I also need to start working on the braided lines because we need to run 2 off the pump, because I don't think we'll be able to get to the pump once we get it up in once it's mounted up in the car. So I'm playing with this little gasket here. This goes between the hat and the fuel tank. And you notice it's got some like alignment dowels on it. So I've been playing with it. Will line up anyway. So I'm assuming if you put the gasket on, it's got a little notch here. I'm assuming that's for the front. But this dowel right here, there used to be a dowel here, I went ahead and cut it off. Would not line up anywhere. I spun it probably 2 or 3 times. Nothing will line up except for these 3. So I went ahead and cut that off. And it should be good. Pop it in, because there's no spot on the tank to line it up except for the holes to bolt it down. So I'm just gonna throw this gasket on, push it down, and be pretty much ready to drop it in the tank. The filter's on nice and good, they ain't gonna be coming off. Alright, so got the fuel tank pretty much all wired up. Got the wires to the fuel pumps and the wires to the fuel sending gauge or fuel level gauge, whatever you want to call it. Got my vent there, gonna go into the filler tube. Already got the new grommet in for the filler tube or filler neck. So now I am working on the fuel lines. I didn't get the upgraded fuel lines from On3. These are just pretty much what they supply with the kit. Only because I'm only be running pump 93 in it, so no E5. So I'm totally fine with that. Alright, so we got both fuel lines here. They're 2 different sizes. The return is going to be 8N, and the supply is 10. So we got plenty of line of hose here to support a big number of horsepower. So we're not going to run any hose here. Eventually we're going to have to upgrade the hose on the engine because they're all 6, but should be able to get the power levels we need with them. But if we don't, we can always swap them out with bigger rails and bigger lines. So working on getting them the fittings put on. I've already did one already. Maybe it'll focus on it, maybe it won't. They're not going to look pretty. They're going to be scored up because I don't plan on spending, really don't want to spend $100 for a set of tools to make it look pretty, but that they're just going to sit underneath the car and you're not going to see anyways. So, but use a couple wrenches and it does the job, and the vise. That's why they've got the marks there. It sits in the vise, and I just use my wrench, tighten it down. Pretty simple to do. And the hardest part is actually cutting them, because I'm going to be using I'm going to use my little Dremel there. I haven't tried the Dremel yet. I usually use like a grinder, but my grinder's got a big ass. It's not a cutting wheel; it's a grinding wheel on it. So that's all I have. I'm gonna try the Dremel first, see how it does. If it doesn't work that well, then I'm gonna go towards the grinder and hope for the best. Alright, so got the tank here, got the wiring off to the side, wrapped up, taped, so I know what goes where. It's pretty simple. Pumps, fuel gauge. So I got my lines hooked up, tightened down, kind of pretty much just running up underneath the car there. So I'm about ready to pop this tank in. I put the filler tube on, which is pretty simple. I'm gonna go ahead and stick that on before I throw it up in the car. But we're getting pretty close, so it should be fun getting this up in the car. I already kind of test fit it once, but I haven't done it with the hat on. So hopefully we don't have any interference there. If so, we'll have to drop it and have to massage this bottom part here. But according to On3, they modified this tank so it won't have any issues with the hat hitting the top part of the floor here. But we won't know until we put it in, so. So I got the tank up, went pretty good. I am going to have to drop it. The hat is hitting the floor there, so I'm not going to tackle it till tomorrow. Going to get the big hammer after it, massage it a little bit. Hopefully it does the job, because it's pretty close. I mean, I can start the bolts and everything, but you can feel it. It's you can't really see it, but you can feel it. The hat's hitting the bottom of the floor. So just gonna beat it in some and hopefully get it bolted up tomorrow. But guys, I'm gonna call it a night and get back after us tomorrow.